Hey there folks, CrossFlux here with another video in this strange series where I talk about a what-if situation. What would it be like if other video game characters could appear in a crossover game that has the battle system of a Pokemon game? So let's just get on with it. After the first episode of this series, I knew the next episode had to be Mario's little brother, Luigi. Like with Nintendo's mascot Mario, I don't think Luigi needs much of an introduction. He's Mario's little brother, but by no means is he a slouch. I'd consider him just as much of a hero as his brother. So Luigi's going to be fairly similar to his older brother, but there will be a few key differences that will set him apart. First up, the typing. Just like how Mario is a fire fighting type, I've decided to make Luigi an electric fighting type. To understand my reasoning, we once again look to the events of Superstar Saga. In this game, Luigi gains the ability to manipulate lightning and thunder. The fighting type comes from his athletic prowess. I've thought of 3 possible abilities for Luigi to have. I think they all reflect his personality and accomplishments very well. First up is Rattled. Since Luigi's a bit of a scaredy cat, I instantly thought of this ability for him. For those who don't know, Rattled will raise your speed a level after being hit by a bug, dark, or ghost move. It would be decent competitively. After all, being a fighting type, he would resist dark moves. This second potential ability also fits Luigi's personality to a T. Although Klutz isn't a very good ability competitively, it has its use to swap a bad item to the opponent. This last ability that Luigi can have is probably his most useful. Since he's a ghost hunter, Luigi needs a way to strike those ghosts, right? And that's where his ability Scrappy comes into play. When I made Mario in the last video, I gave him a base stat total of 520, to put him slightly below the average base stat total of the final forms of starter Pokemon. Since Luigi is Mario's younger brother, I thought it'd be appropriate to give him a slightly lower base stat total, at 510. This isn't me hating on Luigi, I actually like him a bit more than his brother. But I just feel that Luigi's base stat total should be a little bit lower than Mario, because he's usually in Mario's shadow. This is a rant for another day. Point is, base stat total, 510. End of story. Now here's the specific breakdown of his individual stats. So as you can see, Luigi's stats are fairly balanced, with a slight emphasis on speed and attack. He's also notably more defensive than his brother. Now here's where the rubber meets the road. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter what your typing abilities and base stats are if you don't have any good moves to use. After all, your moves are what your Pokemon is actually going to be doing on its turn. So, starting with Luigi's stab moves. Luigi has a wide variety of physical and special moves at his disposal. Granted, there's not many physical electric moves, but Luigi does get the good ones. Thunderbolt is obligatory special stab, while Volt Switch is there because Luigi's pretty acrobatic and quick on his feet. Of course Luigi would be able to use High Jump Kick, I mean that's pretty much what he and his brother are known for. As for his coverage moves, so we have a strange combination of moves here. Because Luigi can wield his trusty Poltergust 3000, he can make use of Hurricane, Flamethrower, Ice Beam, and Hydro Pump. And because Luigi's a bit scrappier of a fighter, he can use Feint Attack, Sucker Punch, Reversal, and Endeavor. Also for support options, Knock Off, Rapid Spin, and Thunder Wave. Because it fits Luigi's nature, I want to represent the Vanish Powerup from Super Mario 64 DS. The inferior way of playing that masterpiece. Even though a Power Flower is what technically grants this power-up, it's more aesthetically pleasing to represent this effect via the Vanish Cap. So what would this cap grant Luigi in the battle system? Well, the Vanish Cap normally lets Luigi pass through solid obstacles. So what if this item makes him immune to damage from physical attacks? However, special damage goes right through and breaks the cap in the process. So it's kind of like an air balloon, but for more than just ground moves. Since this is a quite bit more powerful, to balance it out, the Vanish Cap will also be broken when Luigi is hit by any attack, other than physical ones, including status moves. Was that? Who's that? It's the Green Thunder, Mr. L. What this means for us is that we've stumbled upon Luigi's Mega Evolution. When Luigi's insecurities and darker side pour forth into his Luigi Night, his typing changes from fighting to dark.
Yeah.
However, he does still retain his electric typing. What's more is that his ability becomes Rivalry. This normally is a subpar ability, but because of how Mega Evolution works, you can choose when your ability becomes Rivalry, thus making it easier to get the offensive boost. His stats change in the following ways. Besides having a Mega form, Luigi also has his very own Z move. When holding the Mushroomium Z, Luigi is able to transform his high jump kick into his Dreamy Hammer, which is a fighting type physical attack with 195 BP and the ability to ignore the opponent's stat boosts.
Okie dokie.
Since Luigi isn't as good of an attacker as his bro, I'm going to focus more on supportive or defensive sets, although he could run a more offensive set if you wanted to. First up, let's take a look at a Crippling Roll. So let's play up Luigi's Klutz ability, for fun. This set will focus on Luigi's ability to disarm the opponent. Through Knockoff and Trick, you have two great ways of manipulating the opponent's item. T-Wave is another good move for crippling the opponent's speed. And finally, your stab move of choice to prevent Luigi from being taunt bait. Luigi would be willing to sacrifice himself to protect his brother, no doubt about it. So let's try a suicide lead roll. Max his speed so he can get off a taunt against slower leads to stop those hazards and statuses. T-Wave is there once again for setting up the opponent for disaster. Rapid Spin is there for eliminating hazards that you are either too slow to prevent or that you are going to remove at a later point in the match. And finally, High Jump Kick is the stab move of choice because fighting's a slightly better offensive typing than electric. Also, the Scrappy ability is key on this set to make sure that you can't be spin blocked and also helping to make sure that your High Jump Kick will be more effective. So, I hope you all enjoyed today's episode. If you have any other suggestions for how Luigi could work in a Pokemon game, please let me know in the comments below. Also, if you have any other character suggestions for future episodes, leave those for me as well. So until next time, have a blessed day.